The Pelicans are 2-0 in the NBA Summer League. Why new coach Alvin Gentry already likes the way his team is coming together. Plus, the Manning Passing Academy has been a labor of love for the first family of football. The LHSAA has an agreement with officials, but will it last? And a former Tiger is fitting right in with the Zephyrs.
This is the last word on sports. Fourth Down on 4 starts now.
Alvin Gentry said the past few weeks have been a whirlwind for all the right reasons. Welcome to Fourth Down on 4. I'm Leslie Spoon. Coach Gentry won a championship with Golden State, took over the Pelicans' helm, signed Anthony Davis to a long-term deal, and New Orleans Summer League team is currently undefeated. Here's more on free agency moves and what to expect with Gentry in charge. The NBA moratorium ended late Wednesday night, and unlike some players around the league, Anthony Davis held true to his word, signing a 5-year extension. Gentry said there's not a better guy in the NBA to anchor your franchise.
I think he sees an opportunity for this to be a real special place. I think that was important to him. I think he wanted to be a part of building something. It didn't take very much persuading because I think he really knew what he wanted to do and what he wanted to be involved with.
At the center position, the Pelicans re-signed Omer Asik and Alexis Ajinça. Gentry says he likes the combination. Each player brings a completely different style of play.
Obviously, Omer actually per minute played is one of the best rebounders in this league. I think he's a really intelligent player. He's a cerebral player from the standpoint of things happening defensively on the floor. He gives us that size, the bang, allow us to not have to double team a bunch of the premium centers in this league. Lexi, I just think he's one of those guys that's still coming into his own. I think you're going to see him get better and better and better. I think he's going to have a really good year. The thing that I've been most impressed with, I've been watching tape on him, is that he has the ability to step out and make shots, but he also has the ability to take the ball to the basket and finish strong at the rim.
When Gentry was introduced as the Pelicans' new head coach last month, he reiterated that defense wins championships. That's where re-signing Dante Cunningham comes into play.
I thought he was really, really important to our team. Obviously being with Golden State last year and seeing him out on the floor and I think the whole competitiveness that he has, the ability for him to guard multiple positions, I think are really important. So, we like him. He's kind of that edgy guy that we kind of need on our team.
The Pelicans locked up a pair of players to compete with Cunningham for playing time. Luke Babbitt, who led the league in three-point percentage last season, was re-signed to a 2-year deal. And veteran Alonzo G was signed to a 2-year deal to add quality depth. G was the first free agent the Pels signed outside of their own roster. NBA Summer League tipped off Friday. So far, the Pelicans are 2-0, beating Milwaukee and Dallas. It's a glimpse into Alvin Gentry's system, and the results are promising. The team's fast-paced tempo led to 101 points on Friday and 90 on Saturday.
The thing that I've been most encouraged with this team, the Summer League team, is that they're playing at a pace that we want to play at, That, to me, is the biggest thing right here. If we can continue to do that, and then, as I said to them in the locker room, if we can transfer that over to the varsity team, then I think we'll be in good shape.
Seth Curry has stood out so far, scoring 55 points in 2 games. Curry certainly has the pedigree, the son of former NBA player Del Curry. And Gentry coached his brother Steph at Golden State. Steph, of course, the reigning league MVP.
I'm not impressed. I expected this. He's good, and this is who he is. He's an NBA player. It's impressive, yeah, but it's not anything I didn't expect.
Seth has been exactly what I felt that he could be, and that's a scorer in this league. I think to me the most pleasant thing that he's done is that defensively I think he's been really engaged and done a good job there.
I'm just steady. I don't know. I'm just going out there keeping the same mentality the whole game, of being aggressive, trying to make the easy plays, not force too much, and just take the shots I know I can make and make plays for other people.
The Pelicans continue Summer League play tomorrow against the Brooklyn Nets. Tip-off is set for 3:30. The playoffs, which are single elimination, start on Wednesday. Well, Thibodaux may not be on your bucket list for vacation destinations, but for up-and-coming football players, it's the only place to be in July, home of the Manning Passing Academy. Lots of big-name players have come through the program, but the camp caters to anyone that loves the game of football and wants to learn. Lyons Yellen has more.
Long before Peyton Manning became one of the NFL's most accomplished passers, won a Super Bowl title, and little brother Eli captured 2, the family's patriarch founded the Manning Passing Academy with the hopes of helping young quarterbacks excel at the high school level.
Things happen every day that make me feel old. but that's one to say that we've been having the Manning Passing Academy for 20 years. But on the other hand, we're very proud of a lot of things.
12A through 8. Among them, the growth of their camp. From 185 campers in 1996 to more than 1,200 this year, the 4-day clinic has become the premier gathering for high school quarterbacks looking to hone their craft. Of course, the Manning name is a big draw, but according to ESPN analyst Chris Mortensen, it's far from the only reason the camp has blossomed.
The kids who sign up first get in. It could be a backup quarterback trying to make his junior varsity team, and that's all they care. They know they can't change somebody in 3 days. But what makes this is I always like to call it a working camp, and there's no frills, bells, and whistles.
Among the camp's notable alumni, 7 overall #1 draft picks and 54 quarterbacks currently on NFL rosters, 17 of whom project as starters. But what makes the camp so unique? The one-on-one instruction from some of college football's top quarterbacks who each year serve as counselors. In fact, the invitations are so coveted, those players pay their own way, honored to be one of the select few given a nod from the first family of football.
You got my cadence now.
It was a big goal of mine, to one day be a counselor. Because back when I was a camper, looking up to these guys.
This year, the camp hosted 37 college quarterbacks, all from varying styles of offensive systems.
We, obviously teach them option. We certainly teach a lot of the shotgun. So, we're certainly trying to teach, what's being run out there with the spread offenses. At the same time, sticking to a couple of core principles of throwing on the run, good play action fakes, how to run a good screen as a quarterback, how to take a good 3-step drop, how to take a snap from under center.
Despite how much offensive philosophies have changed over the past 20 seasons, the Mannings believe the quarterback position is still about the basics.
There have been some offensive coordinators that have been creative and have adapted, kind of their styles and been innovative in the college game. And our camps adapted at the same time. Although I will say, I can't speak for other camps, but we still start kind of under center. We still start with the 3-step and the 5-step drop because I still think it's an important part of the passing game.
Even as shotgun offenses have gained in popularity, the Mannings insist the same basic principles apply, particularly for those college quarterbacks who hope to transition to the NFL. Peyton says he finds it odd to see rookie quarterbacks who've never taken a snap under center.
Something's probably not right about that, I think. And so at least, if they come to this camp and they go on the pro ball, at least they can say, I have taken a snap from under center for 3 days down in Thibodaux, Louisiana. So I think there's some core principles that always kind of need to be taught, especially to a young player.
The Manning clan readily admits that quarterbacks today are far more advanced than they were years ago.
That's a credit to the high school coaches and what they're doing. And the offenses have gotten more advanced, more spread offense and throwing a lot of balls. They're doing more 7-on-7 camps and drills during the summer, which is great.
But when it was suggested that they might deserve some of the credit, they humbly passed. Reporting from Thibodaux, Lions yelling, 4th down on 4.
Coming up, after weeks of a potential strike, the LHSAA and the Officials Association came to a handshake agreement today. But why that's only the first step in preventing a stalemate come September. And later, why the Zephyrs manager thinks former LSU shortstop Austin Nola will be bound for the Bigs very soon. Well, it seems high school football and volleyball will go on as of now after a tentative agreement was reached today between the LHSAA and the Louisiana High School Officials Association. Now, Paul LaRosa, president of the Officials Association, says he feels good moving forward and he's telling his officials to sign up and get ready to work. But keep in mind, nothing was set in stone today. Here are some of the underlying issues. Despite today's agreement, referees in the state of Louisiana have only had 2 raises in 25 years, and they say they've had enough.
There's a process in place where the Principals Association set the rules, and we have absolutely no say-so. And they can make a promise and then break that promise.
So the bottom line is the Louisiana High School Officials Association said many referees were prepared to strike unless the Principals Association signed at least a year-long contract agreeing to a new fee schedule. But there are 10 different officials associations in Louisiana, and the LHSAA, which has no jurisdiction over the negotiations, says all 10 groups must agree. And if one team cannot play, no team will play.
I do agree with that aspect, that they should be given a voice, a seat at the table, so to speak, because they are an important part of what we do. That said, they need to understand they're not the most important part, which is what I think they're thinking now.
Sean Temple, athletic director at Riverdale High School, says an increase in officials' pay falls on his athletes. They have to make up the difference in fundraising. Now, different schools have different financial situations, but everyone has to make ends meet.
We're paying $1,200 for cops, paying another $1,200 for officials. So we got to make $2,400 before we even kick the ball off.
Paul LaRosa, president of the Officials Association, says in 2007, when the officials got their first raise since 1990, they were promised periodic pay increases, but that never passed. LaRosa also points out costs for officials continues to rise.
In Louisiana, all our football officials, for example, have to go to a camp once every 2 years. We take proctored tests every year to become officials. The standards for Louisiana officials are higher than anywhere else, and yet we're at basically the bottom in terms of what pay is.
So how far behind the curve is the officials' pay scale in the state of Louisiana?
I looked at Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Texas, and we are right in line for the most part with everybody. It's $5 here, $10 there, varying sport.
The challenge is lots of time a basic fee is set at an amount, and then there's a significant travel pay that's paid separately by schools. And so they can make up a lot of difference in a fee shortage by putting in a travel fee. But we know from the data we've seen that we're the lowest in the region for essentially all of our sports officials.
LaRosa says the final straw was when Riverdale's principal proposed a motion to reduce umpires' pay for rainout games. Umps were getting paid half the normal rate. The proposal was to eliminate that fee, and the proposal passed. Temple's thinking is that umps still get the travel stipend, which varies from $20 to $35.
Right now, if they get to the game and it gets rained out at 5:45 for a 6 o'clock game, they still get the travel to come to that game. So I don't see the issue. Our amendment was not personal. It had nothing to do with it had to do with the financial well-being of our budget, and that's it. I would like to believe that when push comes to shove, we'll have football and volleyball. Whether it's the Louisiana High School Officials Association refereeing those games or not, I would like to believe that we're going to have that.
Joining me now, Renee Nato from SportsNOLA.com, who's covered prep sports for nearly 4 decades in our area. Now, as we mentioned earlier, the LHSAA and the Officials Association have a handshake agreement. They've come out and said, we're going to move forward, but it's the Principals Association that has the final say. Now, Mr. LaRosa said there were some principals in this meeting. Is this tentative agreement going to hold up?
Leslie, it's probably 50-50 at best. You know, prep fans are sitting on pins and needles right now. They've had this handshake agreement in 2007 and 2011. Also, keep in mind, Executive Director of the LHSAA, Eddie Bonine, this is his first rodeo.
Right.
So he can't show any weakness, any crack in the foundation. But I don't envy his position. It's got to be tough. I think things could look a little better after today, but there's a lot of things that have to be done.
Now, this dispute comes down to money, but are there bigger issues there?
Respect. There's nothing in writing that says that officials in all sports have to get water breaks. As security goes, sometimes officials in any sport going from the location to their vehicle have been harassed verbally and physically. Security could be a lay teacher. Some officials in sports, Leslie, even have to go to the concession stand to get their money after a game. Can you imagine if a team is manned by the hometown parents and stuff like this, they dispute the umpire, if whatever it may be, and good luck getting your money. There have been some officials in football games that had nowhere to go, no room at halftime, and they've had to sit out in maybe 42, 45 degree weather with rain. And also keep in mind, and I know it's two sides to this whole thing, but officials usually have to take days off, vacation time, to do their job. And so I think it's a little more than money, it's a little bit about respect as well.
Now, Mr. LaRosa, of course, the president of the Officials Association, says he's going to go back and tell his guys and women to sign up, get ready to work football. But can these officials decide to strike anyways?
They still could, and the thing is that in mass, guys have to decide for themselves, is it worth this? Because of what's happened in the past, is it going to be any better? Remember, principals are the ones that decided select and non-select. And if they wasn't all there together, you have 15 members of the principal or the executive committee. There's a couple of coaches and a couple of ADs, but no officials are involved in that. So this committee can decide that, whatever the handshake was about can be disputed. So, when they go back to the officials in mass, they may not be 100% behind what the deal that Paul LaRosa and the LHSA decide.
Exactly. This deal, we have no details. They said they can't tell us any details. So when will we know more?
Monday, there's a meeting locally among the officials, 125, 140 officials. And then Wednesday, locally, there'll be a statewide meeting of all the officials and kind of discuss this and get some feedback a little bit, because there's 10 associations statewide.
Right.
If one or two of those decide not to do it, Leslie, it's not going to work.
All right, Renee, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We're back with more 4th Down on 4 in just a minute. Still to come, former LSU star Austin Nola has worked his way up to the Zephyrs in AAA with his eyes focused on the major leagues. And his younger brother isn't far behind on that same path. Stay with us. 8 days ago, former LSU star Austin Nola made his New Orleans debut with the Zephyrs, and Z's manager Andy Hayes said the reception he got from the fans was like nothing he had ever seen in minor league baseball. Doug Mouton reports on the Tiger turned Zephyr.
Nola last night was in the leadoff spot, had 2 hits, and give him a hit right away. Well,
if you really want to know what kind of a player and what kind of a person Austin Nola is, ask his manager.
A lot of guys, you're kind of force feeding them and trying to change them, and with him, you're like, man, I hope the pro game and things like that, especially when he gets to the big leagues, just doesn't change him. It's a little opposite of some guys. He just, I could go on, but he's made right and a special guy.
Andy Haynes knows Nola well. He had him in single-A ball and now again in triple-A. Austin Nola had a spectacular career at LSU. He's a Baton Rouge native who started 4 years for the Tigers. He was a regional MVP who helped LSU win a national championship. He was known as a great defensive shortstop. Then he was a 5th-round pick of the Marlins back in 2012, and he's made a steady climb up the organizational ladder.
Offensively, he's came a long way. I think he probably doesn't get enough recognition for his bat because he's such a good defender and handles the baseball so well.
And that defensive ability allows him to play other positions. Andy Haynes says he expects Nola to be in Nola for the rest of this season. And the Marlins want him to learn other positions, second base and third base, with an eye on getting a versatile guy in the big leagues.
Playing shortstop helps me to be able to play other positions because the position you're at, you get a lot of balls, and it works out that way. So I'm enjoying getting to play all different positions, and I'm learning a lot. The experience is big to be able to play here, second base, third base, shortstop, to be able to move on to the next level.
His instincts and intangibles are off the charts, and it's not a knack on his ability because he has the ability to play in the big leagues, and I hate to label him as a utility guy. I think worst case he goes there and he offers the manager a lot of versatility, but if I'm in the big leagues managing that club, I don't bat an eye to mark Austin Nola in that lineup every day playing shortstop.
And now Austin Nola knows the next step, the final step, is close.
It's always in the back of your mind, but right now on the front side is here right now in AAA trying to help this team win. So that's the biggest thing, because we know that if we take care of business on the field and we win, that it's going to make everything else look better as we move on up to the next level. So that's the biggest thing for us.
And while the big leagues are not far away for Austin Nola, they're even closer for his little brother. Aaron Nola is having an amazing season in the minors. He's now up to AAA in the Phillies organization.
This is not just natural talent. I mean, he's got good talent, but he's put the effort into it, and it's paying off for him right now. And he's moving up the ladder really quickly.
Austin's taking a little longer to get there, but he's certainly making an impact on many in the Marlins organization along the way.
When he came in the door, you could tell right away this guy carries himself really well. He respects what the game's about, what the team is about. And in the minor league, sometimes it's not about the team. Guys are kind of on a mission for their own careers, but he has a lot of respect for what team is and how the game is played, and we're fortunate to have him, and I'm excited for our fans to get to see him play.
That is a response you don't hear often from a minor league coach, but Austin Nola sort of inspires that. Aaron Nola, meanwhile, Phillies general manager Ruben Amaro said this week he will be up with the major league club, quote, at some point after the All-Star break. Doug Mouton, 4th Down on 4.
Lastly, we say goodbye to Ken Stabler. The NFL legend who spent 3 seasons with the Saints died of colon cancer this week at the age of 69. Stabler is remembered fondly by all who shared the field with him.
Snake was a good friend, one hell of a quarterback, but I always enjoyed his company. He was kind. He was always just interested in the family. He was a big fan of the boys. And you know, when I think of him as a player, I'd say he will slice you up. He will slice you up. He was one heck of a player. Guy, we had fun, and he was just a good guy. Just a really good guy. I'm really sad.
That'll do it for this edition of 4th Down on 4. For Doug Mouton, Lyons Yellen, producer Danny Rackwell, and photographer Adam Nay, I'm Leslie Spoon. Have a great night. We'll see you same time next week.